Welcome to Chelonia Crafts. Today I'm going to try to teach absolute beginners on a Turkish spindle how to learn the basics of park and draft and drop spindle spinning. I'm not going to talk through the whole video because a lot of what you're seeing on the screen is quite self-explanatory. You're mostly going to be learning about how to familiarize yourself with your fibers, how to learn about twist, how it travels, and how to control it. If you're using one of our bone spindles, you're going to start by trapping some fibre in just one of the wings. And then start by putting in some twist by winding the spindle backwards or anti-clockwise, as if undoing a nut or opening a tap. When you've put in a bit of twist, you'll be able to see that it's already made quite a decent piece of yarn, quite strong and unyielding. But if you pinch it at the point where the twist finishes, you can still pull the fibres apart very easily. Drafting and spinning is about learning the balance between the twisted yarn and the untwisted loose fibres. As you can see, if you put a little bit of reverse twist, you can loosen the fibres and make the yarn thinner. Here I've chosen to put some twist into a lot of fibres at once, and you can see that it doesn't take many twists before a thicker bundle of fibres becomes very solid yarn. But again, a bit of untwisting and they pull apart very easily. And this is the process you're going to go through time and time again when you're spinning yarn. Put in some twist, control it, untwist it slightly, draft out the fibres, and then allow the twist into those fibres when you've got them to the thickness you want. Untwist, draft, and twist. And by putting some more turns on the spindle, adding more twist to the yarn, you can see here how springy it becomes. And again, untwist, draft some fibres, and allow the twist into them. And at some point, you're going to need to wind that yarn onto something. So we start by taking it up on the fingers of our free hand. And then in the case of the bone spindle, this is when we add the second wing. And we use that first length of yarn to lash the top wing in place by going over the top wing and under the bottom wing a couple of times. And now we can continue with the so-called park and draft method. We park the spindle on our lap while drafting and pick it up to add twist to the yarn. Still winding the spindle backwards, we add some twist, gently park the spindle, observe the normal twist, pinch, untwist slightly, and draft out some fibre. and then let the twist into the fibre to turn it into yarn. Make sure we still have some twist in it. And repeat. Now you might spin your entire first ball of yarn just doing this. It should be stress-free, you have control all the time, and it's a great opportunity to play with the fibres, observe the twist, and learn the limits of the drafting. If the yarn seems to be getting too thin, you simply allow the twist further up into the drafted fibres, and if it's getting too thick, then you untwist a little more and draft it out thinner. When it's time to take up the slack again, we will change to the more conventional way of building a cop on a Turkish spindle, which is to go over 2 wings and under 1. Over 2 and under 1. This ensures that more of the cop builds up on top of the wings than underneath it, giving that classic tortoiseshell shape. You should carry on using this method until it feels completely familiar and well controlled. In the next stage, we'll learn how to use it as a drop spindle. We need to first learn how to attach the yarn to the tip. We wind it once around the thumb and then drop it gently over the tip of the shaft so that it grips by a slip knot. And now, because the spindle is the other way up, we're going to spin it clockwise, as if tightening a nut or closing a tap. This now means that the momentum of the spindle can do the work of putting the twist into the fibres, but we still park it in our lap between spins. Control the twist by pinching, untwist slightly, and draft the fibres to the desired thickness before letting the twist turn that into yarn. Spin clockwise like a spinning top, still pinching the yarn before it enters the fibre ball. Park the spindle, control the twist, untwist slightly, and draft some more fibre. And thanks to the momentum of the spindle, you'll now find that you're making more yarn length between each park. And take up the slack as before. To remove the yarn from the tip of the spindle, we slide our thumb into the triangular space, loosen the slip knot, and pop it off the tip. And continue winding the cop over 2 wings, under 1. Reattach, 1 loop around the thumb, and drop the slip knot on. Always leave enough length to be able to comfortably get the spindle started again. If you're too close to the fibre bundle, then you won't be able to control the twist properly. Control the twist, untwist slightly, draft some fibre, and allow it to twist. And again, you should stick with using this method for as long as it takes to feel truly comfortable and familiar with it. And eventually, the time will come when you want to try drafting while the spindle is still in motion, instead of parking it in your lap every time. So the rules are still the same. Set the spindle in motion, and then control the twist, and draft, and allow the twist to travel. When the spindle starts to lose momentum or spin back again, you can always trap it and go back to the park method. And here you see I'm taking up the slack while the spindle is still just about in motion. Then open the triangle, release the slip knot, wind on the cop. This is the speed that I usually spin at. Don't expect to do this on your first ball or even your 10th ball. Simply enjoy the process and familiarise yourself with the fibre and the twist. And enjoy the process. Finally, I'm going to show you how to attach more fibre for when you come to the end of your bundle, or if you accidentally pull too far and detach it. The trick here is you want horizontal fibres in your bundle and vertical fibres from your yarn. Loosen them both, vertical, horizontal, pinch them where they start to cross, set in some twist, park, and then from that junction point, draft and twist gently to encourage the yarn to travel round that bend. So you have a seamless union from one length of fibre to the next. I hope you've enjoyed this video. The next one will be on the subject of plying the ball of yarn, and I hope to see you on Instagram. And let me know if you want any spindles.